What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by Tyler. We were back for another video on our Kingdom Hearts community series, a community series that airs every single week, Wednesday and Thursday. And we are almost here. Kingdom Hearts releases in just 6 days on the 29th. We have this video and one more tomorrow left in our Kingdom Hearts community series. And then, my God, we have a lot of content prepared for you guys when the game releases. We're going to have many days, almost 2 weeks, 2 full weeks of videos every single day for Kingdom Hearts 3. So we got a ton of stuff planned when the game actually releases. And we want to do a video much like we did with Roxas in the past. It was pretty popular. A lot of people had a lot of things to say about it. And we talked about why Roxas won't survive. You guys can go check that out. We've also done a ton of other videos talking about theories, explanation videos, all sorts of stuff in Kingdom Hearts franchise. Tyler had done videos in the past to explain the entire story of Kingdom Hearts. All very important videos, I think, as we lead up to just a week before the game releases. So we want to do the same thing in this video with Axel. Now, we know Lee, Axel, the title says Axel. Doesn't matter. We want to do the same thing. Will Axel, or why won't Axel survive Kingdom Hearts 3? So, Tyler, Axel / Lee, whatever we want to call him, very loved character. And I think, you could kind of have told that back even when Kingdom Hearts 2 first released. The first time we saw him, he just had something about, the got it memorized, the line, all that stuff. But there was just something about that character. And then obviously he appeared in quite a few more games since then. He died basically in Kingdom Hearts 2, but he was brought back. So this is a loved character, a character that I think the franchise of Kingdom Hearts knows just how popular he is. And there's no doubting, how much people care about him. Kingdom Hearts 3, he seems to have a pretty big role. He's on the box cover, and he's in a lot of the trailers as well. So what do you think? We're saying he's not going to survive. Why? And what do you think that's going to do to people if he actually doesn't make it?
Well, I think it's really safe to say that Axel, or Lee, I should say, won't make it. And in fact, when we watch the trailers, it sort of seems like, so you guys will know that some people say, and I would agree, like Roxas is one of the most tragic characters, Ven is one of the most tragic characters, that kind of stuff. And sometimes it depends on the game. Like when you look at 358/2 and Kingdom Hearts 2, Roxas is absolutely one of the most tragic characters in the franchise, just because of what takes place. He constantly is losing his friends. He's just being used, basically, by this organization. He finds out that he wasn't even supposed to exist, and he was made, and this and that. He doesn't really have a purpose other than being used. Then again, he loses his friends twice, 2 different groups of friends. So, yeah, Roxas, he's a tragic character. But when we look at Kingdom Hearts 3, and we look at the trailers and all that stuff, I think that when we're done, when the credits are rolling and we're all crying, which we will be, I think we'll all say, you know what? I think Lee was the most tragic character for Kingdom Hearts 3. And I'm pretty confident in that statement, because when we look at the trailers, every time we see him, he just looks depressed, and not so much just depressed, but it sort of looks like he's just sick that this whole thing has happened. I think he feels horrible about all of it. He feels bad for Sora. He feels bad for Roxas. He feels bad for Ven. All of it. He just wants it to be over. He lost his friend Isa. Because don't forget, in Birth by Sleep, when Lee was young, he was best friends with Isa. And he also becomes very close with Ven, who then all of a sudden just disappears and he never sees him again. Maybe he hears rumors. I don't know if the Keyblade wielders were like a well-known thing, kind of like superheroes. We don't know. We really don't know that. Especially for like Lee's time period, we don't know. Before that, like if you're talking about Kingdom Hearts, the Union Cross type, then yeah, Keyblade wielders were kind of well known, but we don't know if around Lee's age in Birth by Sleep, if that was really well known to know, like, all these Keyblade wielders, these 3 Keyblade wielders are lost to us. We don't know if that ever made it to him to know, like, hey, my one friend that I made, Ven, is gone. But we do know that Ven obviously never comes back to see him again. So that probably would have upset Lee. And in fact, we can sort of really assume that because isn't it interesting that he was friends with Lee? Jesus. Isn't it interesting that he was friends with Ven, who looks identical to Roxas, who Lee or Axel takes a very good liking to rather quickly? I think it's because of the whole Ven aspect. He missed his friend Ven that he never got to see again. And now here's this guy Roxas who looks just like Ven, so he reminds him of somebody else. And I don't think that Lee really wanted to be part of the organization, but who knows? Maybe Isa did, and he wanted to stick with his friend Isa. We don't really know, but we do know that Isa and Lee did not really... They didn't really remain too friendly in the organization. So he lost Ven, he lost Isa. Then he loses Roxas. And from seeing stuff from 358/2 and Kingdom Hearts 2 and all that, we see how much that affects Axel. Like, he just wants his friend to come back, not to be in the organization, just so that he could be with him. And then obviously we know that Roxas disappears. Now that's another friend gone. Ven, Isa, Roxas, gone. So then, all that Axel really has left... not to mention, by the way, Shion, that he was close to, she goes away. She essentially almost commits suicide, forcing Roxas to have to defeat her. So he lost Isa, Ven, Shion, Roxas. So then, all he's really got left is the closest thing to Roxas, which is... and Ven. And again, Ven's heart is inside Sora. So, and he might be able to feel that. So... all he has left is this Sora, who's sort of kind of like his enemy because Sora's against the organization and he's in the organization, but he really doesn't want to be in the organization. So he's got all these conflicting feelings inside of him, which is kind of a tragic thing because... And what he doesn't even know the whole time of being a nobody is that he actually had a heart. So he was feeling all these things, and he was thinking that he doesn't even have a heart, so he's really just this empty shell who's just doing these orders. But the whole time, he really was just a new person. He's now just a nobody, but he still has a heart. He still is somebody. So that's sad, too. And then he sacrifices himself for Sora to go on. But then, when we find out that Lee's back, that's cool. Lee saves Sora in Dream Drop Distance. That was awesome. We learned that he has a Keyblade. So what that means is that... because really one of the only ways you could have a Keyblade, I believe, is if you have a pure heart. So that means that Lee has a strong heart. He does... So, and by having a strong heart, because when you look at, let's say, Riku, who did, dwell with darkness a little bit, but at the core, Riku just wants to protect his friends. So he cares a lot about other people. You look at Sora. He has a lot of feelings. He cares deeply about other people. We can see that. So knowing how important other people are to somebody, that tends to be the theme where if you're almost selfless and you care more about other people a lot than yourself, then you have a strong heart and you tend to wield the Keyblade. That's sort of what we were seeing. And Lee has one, so what does that tell you? That tells you that Lee really does care a lot about other people. But what's sad is when you think about Sora, he's got Donald, Goofy, Riku, Kairi, Mickey, Yensid. I mean, he's got all these different people. I don't know how much he cares about Yensid, but he cares about all these people, but none of them have basically been killed off. None of them have disappeared. He's been away from them, but he's always got them back. Same thing with Riku. He's got almost the exact same group, but none of them have disappeared. But then when you look at Lee, he's cared about all these different people, and almost all of them have disappeared. So that is really sad. But then when we look at the trailer, anytime he looks at Kairi, it seems like all he sees is Shion. So when he sees Kairi, who is his training partner, so he's with her a lot, he just keeps thinking of Shion, who's gone. Probably every time he sees Sora, he thinks of Roxas and Ven, who are gone. So it's sad, and you can kind of see it on his face when in Dream Drop Distance when he saves Sora and then Isa comes up and they clash. He's like, Isa, he's upset. He's upset that Isa's in the organization that he knows that he's going to be having to go up against again. this time with the side of light. So he really just did not. He didn't want to have to fight his friend. Like the sense that I'm getting is he doesn't know how much more he can take. Axel or Lee, he doesn't know how much longer he can keep doing this. I feel like you could just see it in his eyes, and it's sad. And then when in one of the latest trailers, when he's facing off against Isa again, and Xemnas is there, it's literally like he's getting tortured. He's just getting shot with all the lasers that Xemnas shoots out. And then it appears like he's kind of knocked out or something like that, and Kyrie protects him. There's another scene in that same trailer where a Organization 13 member with a hood up, I believe that Shion, pulls out a Keyblade and like puts it up to him. So he's probably gonna have to face off against her too. So he literally, and it's uncertain if Roxas is good or bad right now. I'm thinking that he might be confused. I don't know. I think he may be confused. So it's just interesting that Lee's gonna have to face off against Isa, who he doesn't want to have to face off against. He's going to have to face off against Shion, who he misses a lot, and we know that because he thinks of her every time he sees Kyrie. And he might even have to face off against Roxas. So, I mean, he's going to have to face all these people that he misses, and he's lost. That's very sad. And how that ties into, is Lee going to make it, is I just think that he's kind of going to get to the point where it's like he might finally be able to save Shion, maybe with Roxas or something like that. He might be able to save Roxas. We don't know obviously how that's going to work, but I have a feeling that he's going to be able to kind of save his friends, finally get some of his friends back, and then he's going to have to sacrifice himself, because I think that I think if he's able to save Roxas and restore Roxas and he's back, I think that the pain that Lee's gone through and all the different things, the loss, all of it, I think that he's going to be like, you know what, my time's up. I was already given a second chance, but now you're given your second chance, and maybe Roxas or somebody's in a situation where they might get struck down by Xehanort or Xemnas or whatever. And Lee might basically be like, this is your second chance, and I want you to have it. And then he sacrifices himself. And I think that makes sense to me that he would do that. Because it literally, again, it looks like this whole Kingdom Hearts 3, all he's doing is thinking of the friends that he's lost. And, if he gets them back, it sounds weird. Some people disagree, but it sounds weird. Like, well, if he got them back, why would he want to sacrifice himself? Why wouldn't he want to be with them? If they're in a situation which clearly everything looks very bleak, it's 7 versus 13, and the 13 are rather strong. So, not everything's going to go in the way of the lights, and we've already seen that in the final battle trailer. So I think it makes sense that, he'll get the people that he wants back, but it'll kind of be a short-lived thing, and he would want to give up his own life, which he's done before. He would want to give up his own life to give them a chance to be able to live. And it's Kingdom Hearts, so he'd probably think like, it might not be the last time I see you anyways. At worst, depending on the sacrifice, maybe he becomes a nobody again. I don't know. And that could be put into Kingdom Hearts 4. That's a possibility, but I do think that he will sacrifice himself.
I agree. I agree with him having kind of a tragic story and going through a lot. And I do agree. You can really tell that from the trailers, and it just seems even from the trailers that we've seen of him in Kingdom Hearts 3. I think he's going to have quite the path that he's going to go through, and things that he's going to experience and emotions, like you said, every time he sees Kyrie. And just when you think about, like you said, all the stuff that he's gone through in his lives, I guess if you want to call it that, he's gone through a lot. He's gone through arguably the most. And especially when you say like Riku, Sora, they have everybody, and Axel, all he's ever had is people lost. So I think he's going to be a really, really interesting character in Kingdom Hearts 3. I think he's going to have maybe one of the most like dynamic stories. He's going to be one of the more interesting characters to see what happens to him. So and I think that's fair to him because he is such an important character to the franchise, and he is such a loved character. I think we're going to get to see a good amount of him in Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm sure he'll be be pretty important. I'm sure, if he does end up sacrificing himself, if he doesn't make it, I'm sure it'll be something really, really big. It'll be for a noble purpose, and I'm sure it'll be very, very sad as well. So I'm very excited to see what happens to Axel. I'm sure you guys at home are too. Let us know in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you think Axel/Lee, whatever, do you think he'll make it out of Kingdom Hearts 3? Do you think he'll sacrifice himself? And what do you think of his story? Where do you think his story will go in Kingdom Hearts 3? Let us know. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel podcast now, and make sure you hit the bell icon so you guys are notified when every video in our Kingdom Hearts community series go up. They go up every single week, Wednesday and Thursday. We got one more video, like I said in the beginning of the video. Tomorrow we have had many videos in our Kingdom Hearts community series that have gone up over the last several weeks. We also have videos even from last year that Tyler did that a lot of people have ended up seeing. So make sure you guys check all those out. Get ready for Kingdom Hearts 3 releasing this upcoming Tuesday. We're going to have tons of videos on it, and we hope to see you guys there.